Hello, beautiful people. It's me once again, Angie from Ange'luscious Authentic Dishes. Now, I am making a smoothie. I decided to go live. I always do. My lives are pretty much a bit unpredictable, but today I just wanted to encourage you to eat as natural as you possibly can. Now, I'm making this video also because a member of my tribe wanted to know, I just released my juice book recently, and this person wanted to know, is my juice book only good for cancer? No, it isn't, all right? Like I've explained to you, I speak passionately about cancer because I am a cancer survivor. But in my previous video the other day, I explained how I reversed high blood pressure that my grandmother had. And I wasn't even, I didn't even realize that I had reversed it. It was just after months and months of not having to give her any of her medications, I realized that I had actually reversed her blood pressure. Now, my son was diagnosed with asthma when he was about 7 years old or so. I reversed that asthma too. All right, so I just want you to understand that no matter what it is that you suffer from, no matter what ails you, keep in mind that your prescriptions, they are made from plants. What makes these prescriptions not healthy is the ton load of chemicals that they add into the prescription. Your body's not designed to assimilate all of that, all right? So I'd rather go for the plants. Right now, I am cutting up some aloe vera because I'm about to make a smoothie. So I am just removing the gel from this aloe vera here. He's now 20 years old, my son D'Angelo. And when he was about 10 years old, I stopped giving him albuterol, which is the steroids. They would put you on that pump thingy, and you have to inhale it. I'm not quite sure if you're familiar with anyone who has asthma. They usually use the pump, to pump when they're running out of breath or they're unable to breathe. But with him, I was prescribed this big old machine. It's the nebulizer. You put that mask thingy over his nose and you put the steroids in. The albuterol is what he was prescribed. And I would put it in and he would, inhale it. Now, my children are they're very skinny. Growing up, our entire family is skinny. And the albuterol, the doctor didn't explain to me the side effects of the albuterol. Now, back then, I wasn't all into health like I am right now. I wasn't into health. So what I did, I listened to the doctor because, you're supposed to follow your doctor's orders. So I followed my doctor's orders. I didn't bother to read the side effects of the medication because I thought, if there was something that was going to be wrong or harmful with this medication, I was quite sure that the doctor would let me know that, this and this and that is the side effects, right? They don't tell you what the side effects are. You have to read, study, you have to be accountable for that. You can't hold them accountable for that. So, I didn't read all the side effects, but guess what happened to my child? My child blew up, seriously blew up. And back then, I didn't understand that, it was a side effect. He looked like, he was about 9, 10 years old, but he looked like 15. He was swollen. I didn't know that steroids would make you just look like, he was swollen. He looked like if you pricked him with a pin, he would bust. And his breathing became labored. Now, my child never had a breathing problem. To me, he didn't have a breathing problem. So I was surprised when I took him to the doctor, he wasn't feeling well, and they told me he had pneumonia. Now, this is not a sickly child. He was never sick. But in the same breath, the doctor said, you know what, this child also has asthma. And, he prescribed all of that stuff. So, like I said, I took the doctor's orders, I listened, and I put my child on this thing. Now, when he was in school, his breathing became so labored, like no one wanted to sit next to my child because his breathing was too loud. He was ridiculed because he was seriously overweight. I mean, this child he just blew up overnight. Then they sent me to a specialist. Okay, so I took him to the specialist. Now I'm going to put a little bit of this aloe vera right here into my juice. And I'm going to put a few slices, you know, if you're watching and you want to make it, you can go ahead and make this too. I'm going to put a few slices of cantaloupes in here. All right, so yes, so my child was in school and no one wanted to sit next to him because his breathing was like just, it was really heavy. No one wanted to sit next to him. They sent him to this allergist, you know, someone who specializes, I guess, in allergy. I don't know what you call them. I was brand new to this. This was like over 10 years ago. I was brand new to this. And I took my child, you know, they said he needed shots, allergy shots. I was new to that too, because they claimed that he was allergic to everything. He was allergic to the sun, the moon, the stars, the wind, dogs, cats, grass, trees, everything, which I thought was pretty ridiculous. But anyways, I wasn't noticing any improvements other than he couldn't breathe. His breathing got worse. Before I took him to the doctor, the child could breathe. His breathing got worse, it got more labored, and he was just blowing up. Like now, I went from a skinny little child to an obese child. So I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I wasn't even health conscious. Now this that I'm going to add to this is some cantaloupe seed milk, just so it could move a little bit. All right, I'm adding some cantaloupe seed milk in here. And I just took my child off of that thing. I just took him off. I didn't see the reason why I should have my child on all of this stuff here, and I wasn't noticing any improvements, and he was just getting sicker and sicker to me. Now, I didn't think of going back to the doctor and explaining, you know, all these different side effects, because I'm thinking if the doctor knew that all these things would happen, they would have explained all of this to me. Now, I was just getting into, you know, health and, you know, becoming health conscious, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna cold turkey. I'm not giving my child any more of this stuff. He was being ridiculed because he was overweight, and his self-esteem was getting low because of all of this. He couldn't breathe. No one wanted to sit next to him in school because he breathed too loud and all this other foolishness. So I'm like, you know, to hell with this. So what did I do? I nourished my child with nature. Exactly. I stopped buying a whole lot of things because as I researched, if you're asthmatic, you're not supposed to be drinking milk. All right? Milk, it's a lot of mucus. This is why I make a lot of nut milks and, you know, seed milk, like this cantaloupe seed milk that I just put in here. This is why I make a lot of these stuff. So we were making a lot of nut milks. I stopped buying all the processed foods. Yes, I stopped buying processed foods for my child, and what I did, I simply nourished with nature. I didn't put him on a juice diet. I didn't put him on a cleanse, and this is the reason why I encourage you all to nourish with nature. If you haven't already purchased my juice book, go ahead. You can click the link in my profile. The link is there. When I'm finished with the video, I'll put the link below so you can get your copy of your juice book as well, Nourish with Nature. And that's all that I did. I did not put my child on any special juice cleanse. When I reversed the high blood pressure my grandmother had, I didn't put her on a diet or a juice cleanse. We just nourished with nature. Every single day, this is what we did. If we weren't drinking these juices, what were we doing? We were eating them. I didn't buy any snacks anymore. No more Oreos and no more fast food. And any fast food that my kids got, it was from somebody else that probably treated him and they hid it from me. But inside of my household, it was all foods we ate foods that were as close to nature as possible. That's what we did. So I just want you to understand that even though I speak passionately about cancer, because I don't want you guys to think that cancer is a death sentence. It can be reversed. There is no such thing. I believe there's no such thing as no cure. All right. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. As a cancer survivor back in 2004, I had both of my breasts removed. I didn't know any better at the time. All right. And I had both of my breasts removed. As I became health conscious, they wanted to remove my uterus as well because I was, you know, experiencing a lot of different problems. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I don't know if you know about that. So ladies, if you are bleeding extremely heavy, if you have PCOS, you're trying to have a baby, all these female issues, you need to nourish with nature. You need to get back to the earth, and you need to blend, you need to juice, you need to do all these wonderful things. I did not have to remove my uterus because I understood that I had what you call a hormonal imbalance. Not once did a doctor explain to me that I had hormonal imbalances. Not once. I have what is called estrogen dominance, all right? So it's gonna be hard for you to have children. You're gonna have irregular periods. Now, just by juicing, what did I do? I regulated my period. Ever since I was 14 years old, I never had a normal period, never. It was always abnormal. And when I went to the doctor, what did they say? Oh, it's normal. Oh, it is not normal. No, it isn't. All right, you should not be bleeding 2 months in a row and 2 weeks in a row. You should not have to. My cycles were so bad, I had to use two different pads. The big long ones. I know it's too much information, but I'm just explaining to you how I healed myself. All right, so I had to put one in the front and one in the back because it was I had to make it long because I was just bleeding so heavily. So females, ladies, if you're going through this, you don't have to do surgery. It isn't necessary. All right, it is not necessary. You can heal yourself just by juicing and nourishing with nature. Now, if this video is adding value to your life, please go ahead and share it with someone that you think might find it helpful. But I regulated my period. I don't have heavy periods anymore. I used to be bedridden for 7 days. Every single month, I had to take family medical leave at least once per week, every single month from work because it was that bad. I couldn't move. Now I can do all these things while I'm on my period. I didn't have to remove my uterus because I am healing myself. I did a lot of research. I understood what I had, and I am working on it. I am not perfect. I'm still a work in progress, but I am 100% better than what the doctors were trying to give me. All I had to do, nourish with nature. That's it. That's all I had to do. Let me taste this thing here. It is a bit thick. I might have to add some water to this. Oh my goodness, this is good. Let me put some more pineapples in here. Put a little bit of water in here. Thin it out. Not everybody likes thick smoothie. Just a little bit of water. Now, whatever it is that you're diagnosed with, it doesn't have to be cancer. For all these men with erectile dysfunction running around, taking these little blue pills, it can lead to a heart attack, all right? It's simple. You don't need those little blue pills. Nourish with nature. It's not that hard. I mean, people just nobody wants to give up their bad habits. No one wants to do that. Everyone wants a quick fix. And if you are calling me for a quick fix, I can't help you. I didn't heal myself overnight. All right, I haven't had any issues. I mean, I have friends and people that I know that's constantly going to the doctor, and their health isn't improving. If you're diabetic and you're being advised that you need to take small, eat several meals several times throughout the day, your diabetes is never going to go away. Every single time you put something in your mouth, you're spiking your glycemic index. So you will forever be diabetic. You will forever be a patient. Now, these little small meals that you're eating, you can't be eating junk food small meals. If you're eating small meals like, okay, piece of cantaloupe, it's from the earth. If you're eating apples, it's from the earth. So of course you're going to be healed on a cellular level. So I just want you to understand, you got to get rid of all that junk food. You got to get rid of all of that processed food. It's not doing you any good. It's not. You want a nice flat tummy? You got to nourish with nature, all right? You feel bloated? Nourish with nature, all right? You got migraines, you got acne, your skin is really bad, you're breaking out because your gut is out of balance. You want to get your gut back in balance. You want to feed it good stuff. You want to get all those parasites out your system. That's a whole other story, all right? Whole other video I got to get into. But yes, We all have parasites.
That's right.
We all have parasites.
That's right.
You might think you have to go to a third world country to get a parasite. You have cats and dogs, you have parasites. You breathe the air outside, you have parasites, all right? So those parasites could be feeding, you know, there's a lot of people, I'm so skinny and I'm trying to gain weight and I'm eating everything and I can't gain any weight and I eat like 1,000 times per day and I still can't gain. It's not about your metabolism being fast. You could possibly have parasites. So every time you're eating those junk, your body wants the sugary food and the sugary that and the sugary. It's not you that wants it. It's those parasites are sending you to go get this food. Your parasites, yeah, they instruct you. They're powerful like that. They instruct you on what it is that you need to eat. So you're actually feeding them and you're not getting any of those nutrients. You have acid reflux. You have all these different things, low iron, you need to nourish with nature. This is the first place that you want to start. This is where you want to begin. So like I said, if you haven't already picked up my cookbook, not my cookbook. Cookbooks are currently out of stock. You want to go ahead and get a copy of my juice book. There's over 60 plus recipes in there, herbal teas in there. I love herbal teas because they are healing as well. They are detoxifying. You want to get yourself some of those things, all right? So you definitely want to nourish with nature. You definitely want to juice. You want to get well. You want to live long. Yes, we all have to go, but you know what? I'm not going to go walking around with an oxygen tank, an oxygen mask. That's not living, okay? Oh, I know people that live to be 100 years old. What was their quality of life? What was it? I don't want their quality of life. I don't want to be bedridden. I don't want to, you can't go here, you can't go. I don't want none of that. I want to live, and I want you to thrive, and I want you to live, and I want you to stop suffering. And this is why I'm telling you to go ahead and nourish with nature. Now let me go ahead and taste my juice. All right, so females, get your man off of them, what you call it? Viagra. It's no good, okay? You're setting the man up for a heart attack. Look how beautiful this is. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. And this is not in the juice book. So consider yourself a freebie. This is really, really good. And you know what? You want to go on a juice cleanse? You can definitely use the juices from my juice book to go on a juice cleanse. You know, if you're into juice cleanses, you want to detoxify, Thanksgiving is coming up. You know, you're going to eat all that crazy food and you're going to feel bloated and sick and disgusted afterwards. So, you know, you can always go back and reset your body with my juice book. There's a lot of juices in there that's going to help you. Now, like I said, if you have found value in my video, please go ahead and share. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook at Ange'luscious Authentic Dishes. If you have any other topics that you need me to discuss, please leave it in the comments. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you'd like me, what topics you would love for me to discuss. And if it's in my area of expertise, I will definitely go ahead and do so. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and finish making my smoothies and my juices because I nourish with nature and I live for earth foods, and I want you to strive and do the same. All right? So I'll talk to you guys later. Be blessed.